Hello, lovely souls. I know quarantine fucking sucks. Yeah, the world sucks ass. But, you know, we're making the best of it, and today we gotta talk about shit. So, we were online the past week, right? We were looking, and people were debating, what is the worst MCU movie? Iron Man 3 or Thor the Dark World? So I said, that sounds interesting. So I did a poll on my Instagram. I said, what is the worst MCU movie? And without question, the overwhelming response was Thor the Dark World. So I said, oh, come on now. We cannot possibly let this slide. So, here we are. Me. Gents, introduce yourselves.
Little bitches.
I am Sinister Chronics.
That's our friend Jairus, who is on the podcast for the first time, by the way. That's an achievement, if I do say so myself. You guys know Evan from our Oscar-winning movie reviews of Black Christmas and Countdown. So we're here to talk about the worst MCU movie without question. Thor the Dark World. Where do we start? Like, I want to go in order of the movie, but where do we start? Like, okay, let's do this. So, without talking about the movie, like, overwhelming thoughts, what was your guys' reaction to watching this movie again?
It was underdog shit.
So it just made my feeling go from, obviously normal. It just went straight down the fucking gutter.
So, now that they said, let me give you mine. So, I thought this movie, in terms of a movie, it's not that bad. Like, it's a fine movie to watch. Like, if it's just, like, on at 2 in the morning, which is what we were doing, most of us, we were watching this movie at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not, believe me, I've seen worse. I mean, for God's sakes, I watched Bloodshot today. Oh my God.
That was pretty bad.
But this movie, as a movie, it's not that bad, but as an MCU movie, it's garbage. It is garbage.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in chronological order of the movie, and I know you Nimrods don't have good memory, but I have a good one. So we're gonna start and go in order of the movie. So the movie starts with a montage. Hopefully, me reminiscing of the movie gives you guys flashbacks. Like, I'm saying it like it's fucking PTSD. Yeah, I mean, one person would get fucking PTSD from watching this fucking piece of shit. So
More than that.
So the movie starts with a opening scene of these dark elves, and of course it starts with Odin giving us a montage and monologue. Why not? We all love Odin, yes. So the movie starts with them giving us a montage of the dark elves hiding something, and they introduce the most generic and boring MCU villain in history. Oh my God, guys, Malekith is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I've literally every time, more than less, and sucks. This was a time where the MCU villains were bad. That was the thing that everyone shit on the MCU for, was having bad villains. And thankfully, you know, it got better, but my God. So we get a montage showing these dark elves hiding what is called the Ether, which is later for us to know the Reality Stone. My personal favorite Reality Stone. Don't at me. But yeah, it's a quick montage, and it's a war thing, and it's basically just there for exposition, which I hate. I hate that these first two Thor movies literally just exposition to tell you like what is happening. They did that with the first Thor movie to show you that Loki wasn't human, and it was like, well, not human, but whatever Thor is, a god, I guess.
Asgardian, whatever.
Yeah, Asgardian. There you go. So then we flash back to 2013, and immediately the opening scene to the present day movie makes no fucking sense. So they show Loki like in handcuffs, and from my understanding, the time jump in this movie is a year from the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a year.
So why is it that Loki is now talking to Odin about what happened? Don't you think that they would have had this conversation, I don't know, a year ago? Unless I don't know if it's me, but I don't know, maybe the commute to Asgard from Earth takes a year. I mean, I don't know, man. There must have been a lot of traffic on the way.
Space traffic.
Let them get
It was kind of like shown in one part of the movie that it doesn't take long for Thor to travel from Earth to Asgard.
I feel like if they would have done that, they would have had like a timestamp saying, "Oh, this was like just after the Avengers that conversation," and just fast forward to 2013.
That's probably what should have happened.
But, you know, the filmmakers of this movie did not do that. So, they have a conversation or whatever. Loki's being a prick, which FYI, Loki is most definitely the best part of this movie. So,
Yeah.
they, you know, they show a battle happening. It's a fun enough battle, you know. Aliens and shit, and Thor's being Thor. I'll say this, the introduction to Thor in this movie I think is really awesome. I like the song that they gave him. I always liked that song from the first time I saw it. But you know, it's a cool enough song, and you know, it's a cool enough scene. You know, Thor breaks some shit, you know. It's fun enough. So then after that we go to Earth, and immediately this movie gets boring. So
Let's start on the first scene on Earth.
please, because Jay remembers it, so please take it away. Knock yourself out.
The first scene on Earth is literally a date.
Like the most corniest date in the world.
Yes, it's so cringy.
No, don't get me wrong. We're not talking Anakin and Padme here. That comes on Sunday. That comes on Sunday. Actually, no, that comes in a couple of minutes. We're not there yet. So,
We're not there.
so they're talking, and it's just like they're talking about how Thor's a dick or whatever. Which, I mean, that realistically, if you get into a relationship with somebody that has a magical hammer that lives in space, why are you getting mad at him that he doesn't come back? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's kind of petty.
That's like Star-Lord having a girlfriend on Earth and then he just doesn't come back. But you know he has a spaceship and he's friends with a talking tree and a talking raccoon.
At least he didn't go to the trash can.
And she's over here just moping like, oh, Thor left me. Oh, I'm like, shut up. Just shut up, please.
Suck it up, bitch.
So
Then she finds another dude.
So FYI, this guy has the worst British accent I think I've ever heard in my life.
I put this on America.
Yeah, you see, look, Kevin didn't even know. Look, guys, literally it differentiates from American and British so much that, like, because I was listening to it, I was like, is he doing a British accent? And he was, but it was so bad that it was just American, British. I was like, oh my god, this is bad.
Yeah,
So
it got worse.
then her friend Darcy showed up, who of course is the best character from the MCU, you know. I'm sorry guys, April Fool's Day isn't here yet. I'll cut the shit. She's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
The humor in this movie is horrendous. I mean, it's bad. I don't
The
remember.
only good humor parts are when Thor and Loki.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
she comes and is like, "Oh, your scientific equipment is doing things," and she's like, "Oh, we haven't gotten readings like this since New Mexico, which is the first Thor movie," and you know that happens, and then they go to where the readings were or whatever. They have this intern that's there. He's just there.
He was vibing.
It's like the MC, like Marvel, whoever directed that movie, just literally picked someone off the street, just like, hey, you want to be in the Marvel movie?
See, now that you mentioned the director, you know what's funny? The director of Wonder Woman was supposed to direct this.
Oh, really?
And
Oh, dear.
and
Jalen had a much more impact on the movie.
yeah, right. So and she turned it down because the script was so bad. Watching the movie, can you really blame her?
Yeah.
So
Can't really.
so they go to this place and they find these kids messing around with this portal shit, which I was like, oh, that's cool, I guess. So then,
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's kind of, it's weird. It's like, why is there just a portal there that's just, oh, things go in and go out? I did probably one of the only funny scenes that doesn't involve Thor and Loki. The fucking intern throws the keys to the car in the portal and it doesn't come back. I was like, oh, that was funny.
Come back.
That was pretty funny, but
And then Darkseid's like, that wasn't the keys to the car, and then he was just like, yeah.
so oh, go ahead.
No, it's still going off.
So Jane magically finds the reality. I'm not calling it the ether because it's not what it is. I'm gonna call it the reality stone. So Jane randomly finds the reality stone. Like literally she walks to a portal. Oh, it's there. So in my head, I'm like, so in the opening scene, whoever was leading the Asgardian army goes, oh, hide it somewhere where nobody will find it, right? So I didn't know that meant, oh, just stick a random portal on London so that way nobody can find it. God, she literally walks through the portal and finds it. It was so, like...
She walks in, grabs it, walks out.
And this
wasn't
is...
there like a scene where she gets dragged somewhere into it? Like,
I
there's
don't
like an
know.
invisible force that drags her from like...
I don't know. I think she had a dream or some shit.
It looked like a corny, like, horror movie, like, kind of like, jump scare. I was like, what?
So then we get to Jane she obtains the ether, to which I ask, how is she able to absorb the ether?
She's just a human.
Now the reason I'm asking this is because in Guardians of the Galaxy, they make a pretty big emphasis that humans are not supposed to be able to hold, Infinity Stones. Now granted, they were holding the Power Stone in their hand, but regardless, it's an Infinity Stone. How is she holding it in her body like it's nothing? Like, I never understood that.
I think it was because it was more of a liquid than some physical thing that you touch. And the
Yeah.
stone did in fact enter her. Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
stone-
why her of anybody? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what made her so special that it just entered her?
Because
I
she
guess-
fucking didn't tie her shoelace and she fell on the board.
I guess
Dude,
that I don't know. Maybe Jerry Springer gave the reality stone the inside scoop and was like, hey man, so between you and me, Thor and Jade are going out, and like, so the only way that we can kill them is by like getting Jane to like have this Infinity Stone. Then we're gonna send the most generic villains after her. Maybe that was the plan of the Eve. I don't know, man.
And he played the worst role.
Oh, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We're not there.
So then Thor comes back to Earth and the dialogue ensues and it's fucking horrendous. Guys, this dialogue.
Real, and they smacks him once. And then smacks him again, like, why you leave me? Come on.
She bitch slaps him first. That's what she
Guys, this
And then the
dialogue,
second time is like she actually means it.
this dialogue is so bad. Like, oh my
At
god.
that point, I would have gone.
Like I never noticed how bad the dialogue between them was, but my god, it's bad. Like it's really bad. So then somebody touches her and she like blows up, and it was the ether reacting or whatever. So then after that, Thor takes her to Asgard. I do like this. I like how she, you know, in the first movie she was exposed to everything, but I like how she goes to Asgard and she's not there, and she's not like oh whoop-de-doo, like it's, you know, Asgard, oh my god, like what's the big deal? Like she genuinely has a good reaction to seeing everything. Like she's like, oh my god, like this is so cool. Like she has a normal reaction. I like that. What I don't like is how much fucking exposition is in this movie. There's literally so many scenes of people just telling you what you need to know. It's like, why are you treating your audience like they're dumb? I hate that. The Black Christmas remake had tons of that. And it was like, why? Let's see. So and by the way, Odin literally tells Thor what we saw in the beginning of the movie, so you couldn't have it be that like Thor knew who Malekith was and that whole story. Why did we need to hear that again? Like we literally saw it 20 minutes ago. So then we get to the scene where they attack Asgard. I'm probably skipping over some things, but do you really care? I don't care. So they attack Asgard. It's a fun scene. I would be lying if I said I don't like it. It's a fun scene, you know, shit is blown up and it's fun. But I think, to me, if you ask me, it was too short. It was like 5 minutes long. I feel like if you made it longer, that's what she said. If you made it longer, you, like, it could have been like a really so oh my god, I can't even focus right now. So I feel like if they had made it a longer scene, it could have been a really much better action sequence where you blow up Asgard, but no, it just happens. And again, for what it is, it's not bad. So then we get Thor's mom dying, which, by the way, the relationship between Thor's mom and Loki, I actually really like it. I've always liked it. I like how Thor's mom is the only one that really treats him, you know, like a person. Like she doesn't, you know, she doesn't treat him any different than he should be treated. So then we get Thor's mom dying, which, I'm not gonna lie, she didn't really do much, but it is, I do like the scene mainly because of how Thor reacts. His reaction is great. You know, he smacks the shit out of Malekith, and Odin's reaction also, which is a weird reaction because Odin doesn't really have reactions. But I guess they're trying to show you that, like, when it comes to family, you know, it's gonna be important. Oh, so I guess we haven't talked about Malekith yet. So, yeah, Malekith is fucking terrible.
Oh. That point when Thor hit Malekith with the hammer, at that point I was thinking in my head, like, that's payback for how bad your acting is.
Yeah, right? But the movie, like, I don't know, like, he's so boring and generic. He's literally just a bad guy. Like they don't develop his character at all. He literally
the dark elves. He almost
literally his motivation is, oh, I want the ether. That's it. That's his motivation.
One power to bring darkness into the whole world.
The non-worlds.
It's so, I don't know, it's like so 90s. Like he's just a generic bad guy. I don't like they tried. You know what they tried doing? I feel like they tried giving him Hela's arc from Ragnarok, in that he hates Odin because of what happened, and like I don't know that.
They never even said why he wanted the stone in the first place.
Yeah, that he just wanted the stone because he's evil. Which those are the worst types of villains, when you don't give your villains any motivation. It's just, oh yeah, I want this.
I want this, and I'm gonna do my best to steal it, and I'm gonna fail it.
So then we go back to Loki, which again, that's a highlight of this movie whenever Loki's on screen. And then they devise a plan to escape Asgard and go to the Dark World. Now, when you hear the Dark World, what do you think of when you hear the Dark World?
The terrible movie.
I guess that's one way to put it. But like realistically, when you hear the Dark World, like don't you think of something like epic, like something like, oh, it's all in ruins and shit? What do we get?
I think of more or less just like
It looks like a beach in Iceland.
like the Black Tar Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, or something out of Doom Eternal, like just something on fire where it's epic. What do we get? We just get a place where it's like a black desert with dust all over the place. I'm like, that's the best you could do? Are you fucking kidding me? You could have done anything else, and you do that? Oh my god. So then we get probably one of the best scenes in the movie. Loki and Thor escape Asgard, which the dialogue is on point and it's hilarious. Oh, I forgot to mention this. The force fields with the prison cells were so weak. I laughed so hard. Like literally, they just the force fields that were on the cells in the Asgardian prison. I was like, really? That was supposed to protect somebody from getting out? Like he literally punched his way through the force field and got out. I was like, dude, come on, bro. So then we get to I didn't talk about this. Odin literally states what's gonna happen in the second act of this movie. Thor goes to Odin and tells him, oh, I'm gonna take Jane to Asgard and he's gonna extract the ether and I'm gonna destroy it. And Odin, to which I laughed so hard because he literally, I don't know, man, maybe Odin is sidekick now.
I mean, that shouldn't mean that he's a psychic.
He's not a god of time.
So wait, Evan. So if he is, so if you're saying he is sidekick, why wouldn't he tell Thor what's gonna happen? Or why wouldn't he tell him? Listen, I saw it.
In the words of Doctor Strange, if I tell you what happened.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
God damn it, Kevin.
That logic don't make sense.
So if that were the case, wouldn't that be beneficial to everyone, Kevin?
But then it would have happened.
Down on Earth.
Kevin, if that were the case, nothing would have happened, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this piece of shit. So then they go to the Dark World, and it's so obvious that Loki is gonna turn on Thor. It's so obvious. Now, granted, they obviously, it's not intentional, but my god, like, you watch the movie, you're like, okay, how long is it gonna take for Loki to be a dick and turn on him? So that happens. He cuts his hand off, to which there's no blood.
So at that point, you could obviously tell they're just faking it.
And I was like, you cut his hand off and there's no blood? I was like, are you serious? I mean, when Quentin Tarantino did Kill Bill, every time somebody got sliced, there's nothing but blood spewing everywhere. But, when it comes to Marvel, we can't have blood.
When there's a movie where aliens invade Earth, you can't have blood.
I guess not. So then they reveal, it's a whole setup, and they try to destroy the ether and miserably fail because it's an Infinity Stone, and I don't think an Infinity Stone can be destroyed that easily. I mean, look how much it took for Scarlet Witch to destroy the Mind Stone in Infinity War.
And also, the fact that it nearly killed Thanos and the fact that it destroyed it.
It's funny, Kevin just said that, but you can't
Oh,
fucking.
you said I said something different.
That's fine. But yeah. Same concept, same shit.
So then Malekith absorbs the ether, and it's like, oh, cool, he has more power now. He's all black, and he has these red eyes, and it's supposed to be scary, and it's just like, why do I care? You're not any different than you were 30 seconds ago when you didn't have the ether. So then a whole battle happens, and Loki.
This university gets completely fucking destroyed.
And by the way, this is where the movie gets so fucking boring. Like, I mean, this movie got boring. This has to be the most boring movie in the MCU. It has to be.
Yeah, I knew that when I rewatched it, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do my homework.
Yeah.
So then Loki, quote unquote, dies. To which
we all know that's really not happening.
I don't understand how this makes any sense, how he comes back, because like, listen, I understand he's a trickster and everything, but it makes no sense how he comes back. He literally, like, I understand if, like, they had him die, quote unquote, and then they don't show the body. I'm okay with that. But the fact that he literally dies, and you know, he's supposed to come back. The only reason I can think of is they didn't want to kill him. They wanted him for the sequel, or they just wanted him alive, period, and they didn't know what to do. I don't know, man.
About halfway through production, after they shot us, that's a good scene. And then Kevin Feige came out of nowhere towards the end of production. Hey! Why is he dead?
Oh, what the fuck you doing over here?
Why is my main jokester dead?
So
we need
then,
the redemption arc. Come on.
And then I put in my notes. So if Loki had died, right, that would have meant that she got 2 members of Thor's family killed in the same day.
Imagine the consequences.
I don't know about, you know, I don't know about Thor, but if I'm Thor, I'm filing for, if they were married, I'm filing for divorce over here. I mean,
10 minutes of
if I was Thor, I would keep, if I was Thor, I would keep Odin as far away as possible.
Maybe that's why Loki wanted to do
You gotta be careful.
So then after that, we get the humans. We go back to Earth, and the humans are looking for the doctor from the first one. They try to make it that he's like a crackhead or something. It wasn't funny. Like, it was the scene where they first introduced like what he was doing. I was like, oh, that's a little bit funny. But other than that, that was funny. But then they showed him again, and I just didn't laugh at all. I was like, was that supposed to be funny? So then they find him, and they go back to Earth, and they're like, oh, this is what we gotta do. And they have like these sticks that create, like, they're like mini teleporters. I was like, where did you get that? So then we get the end fight. I don't know about you guys, but I like the end fight. It's fun. I don't give a shit about what happens, because I don't give a shit about Malekith, but it's a fun enough fight. Do you guys agree? Yes? No?
Yeah.
It was okay.
You know, it's not the third act of Infinity War, but, you know...
Yeah.
It's fun enough for what it is, you know. So then... But this is my thing. Malekith does nothing in this fight. He literally just shoots Thor with the ether, and Thor just, like, falls back. And they're, like, teleporting things... And that's literally the fight. And then he teleports Thor to, I mean, they teleport Malekith back to the Dark World, and then they drop his ship on him, which I found hilarious how they did that. So then that's pretty much it. He goes back to Asgard, he talks to Odin and is like, oh, I don't want to be king. And then they reveal that Loki's alive, and there you go. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I will give them
After
this.
credits,
The after credit scene. I'll give them this. They were teasing Infinity War pretty early. I'll give Marvel this. They had a roadmap. You know, they weren't Star Wars. They weren't Disney, and we're just like, oh, well, we don't have a plan for Star Wars. We're just gonna make it as we go. Like, they were planning Infinity War like back in 2013. That's pretty cool, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
What was it? They said that they were planning for this since like 2012 or something.
Well, yeah, because they set up Thanos at the end of the first one.
I might have towards every single stuff after.
So yeah, that's Thor: The Dark World. The movie's dog shit. It is the worst MCU movie. No, we didn't watch Iron Man 3.
Do you really think we're gonna watch that?
Absolutely not.
I don't know. We might. I don't know. Based on our next review series, I don't know. And with Kevin's bright ideas, I don't know.
It was a valid idea. Okay.
Nope, I don't want to hear it.
Well, it's just gonna be long.
I'm not gonna tell you what Kevin's idea was, but it was pretty fucking insane.
Yeah,
So, yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for Thor: The Dark World. We hate this movie, and we're all Marvel fans, so the fact that we're saying an MCU movie is dog shit really says a lot. But yeah, we have a shit ton of reviews coming, so be on the lookout for those, and stay safe with all this virus bullshit. You know, don't go outside, and practice social distancing, even though I hate social distancing. That shit is annoying. But alright, we're getting out of here. Sayonara, peoples.